people or battle cattles. Many infractions are punishable by death. No allowances for dumb misunderstandings.
I'm gonna need some
You,
new words.
Tabitha, come feel the difference.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
In the shadow of the valley, I would like to settle down. Wide open space, wind on my face, a distant horizon, the moon on the crest. In the shadow of the valley that I love best, you have always waited for me, and you always will be there. Sagebrush and old friends a little bit further, I will find my way in the shadow of the valley that I love best.
Welcome back to the Mr. New Vegas show. The show with, in my opinion, which I respect, the best looking audience around. Somebody prove me wrong? All the latest news coming your way right now. NCR Correctional Facility is now under prisoner control following a successful riot. Locals should avoid anyone who looks like they've done time. In addition, the Helios 1 solar power plant remains dormant despite NCR's effort to reactivate the facility. The chief scientist at the plant vowed to fix the problem.
Unauthorized facial pattern. Please.
Severe
Inva-
appreciation. And that's
Since you haven't pissed yourself, I'll assume that you don't know who we are. Next,
from me to you.
you've got 3 days. Crap. You don't even.
I'm gonna need some new words. You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you? Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress? You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you? You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you? Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. The sailor said, quote, ain't that a
Unauthorized facial pattern.
my hair? I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. Sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head? Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. She's telling me we'll be wet. She's picked out a king-size bed. I couldn't feel any better, or I'd be sick. Tell me quick, boy, ain't love a kick? Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head?
Howdy, folks. It's Mr. New Vegas, and I have a good feeling about all of you listening. This just in. The influx of displaced residents to the refugee camp at Bitter Springs has caused a strain on rations there. NCR officials are asking for donations. In addition, tensions
got
are
something
growing
good
at
for me?
Freeside between
Is
the
it a dress?
ruling gang known as the Kings and the large number of NCR squatters seeking refuge there. The leader of the Kings, who would only identify himself as the King, voiced his displeasure, calling NCR citizens, quote, the devil in disguise. He added he didn't want to see the NCR in the ghetto and called for a mass, quote, return to sender. Well, that's all I have for you. This is Mr. New Vegas.
You're making me carry the
wishing
heavy stuff, aren't you?
Lady-like luck tonight. And now, Nat King Cole reminding us what really matters with Love Me As Though There Were No Tomorrow. Because in New Vegas, hey, you never know.
Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Take me out of this world tonight. Take me, make me forget my sorrow. So when I wake tomorrow, I'll know our love was right. Kiss me as though we were now or never. Teach me all that a heart should know.
Welcome, Sarah Orman.
Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Oh, my darling, love me. Don't ever let me go.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
Welcome, Sarah Orman.
Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Oh, my darling, love me. Don't ever let me go.
Welcome, Sarah or Madam. Howdy, folks. It's Mr. New Vegas, and I have a good feeling about all of you listening. Whoops, better put on my newsman fedora here. Refugees at Bitter Springs are giving startling accounts of the legate known as Lanius, who is said to be Caesar's top field commander. One refugee told us the legate took over an underperforming squad of troops by beating his commander to death in full view of everyone. The legate then ordered a tenth of his own force be killed by the other 9/10. And you thought your boss was a pain. Also, citizens of Outer Vegas are flocking to the Strip in droves amid a wave of terror caused by a band of raiders known as the Fiends. Those who can afford passports are saying the added security is well worth the flight to admit. Well, that's all I have for you. This is Mr. New Vegas wishing you lady-like luck tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this next song goes out for you.
That's enough of that.
I'm just security, not a doctor.
You're back. Do you... I have several... I've also... The optics and... Have it... You're back.
Uh-oh. That's enough of that.
To the town of our Priya rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip.
Whoa there, pal. You better slow down, or you'll get blown up like the rest of the idiots who thought they'd scavenge in Boomer territory. Now that I've got your attention, might you be interested in a little information? It'll cost you, but it's well worth the investment.
All around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from his
Whoa,
lips.
I've made some cash from gambling and some cash from reclaiming goods that are no longer being used. Now, do you want my help?
In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red.
Well,
Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead.
oh,
He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his
Hold it right there. Don't you move. How the hell did you survive that bombardment?
The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when
But I had you zeroed in the whole time. Nobody's that fast. Move a muscle now and I'll blow you to pieces.
Everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about
Watch your mouth, Savage.
to
I'll
meet
take
his
this from here.
death.
I'm Raquel, Master-at-Arms for the Nellis homeland. Mother Pearl, our eldest, wishes to speak to you.
To make their play.
Follow.
And the swiftness of the ranger is still
Watch your
talked
step,
about
sister.
today.
Welcome, child. I've been waiting.
Not cleared leather for a bullet fairly ripped, and the ranger's aim was
Those howitzers of ours aren't just for entertainment, child. Explosive ordnance is what keeps the savages at a distance. Except you. There's something special about you, child, and it was the howitzers that gave you a chance to show it.
body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger.
You have to keep in mind, seclusion has kept...
Hello.
When he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip.
The women of New Vegas ask me a lot if there's a Miss. Well, of course there is. You're her. And you're still as perfect as the day we met. More news for you. The influx of displaced residents to the refugee camp at Bitter Springs has caused a strain on rations there. NCR officials are asking for donations. Also, troubling news from Prem as merchants report a large presence of armed, unsavory figures patrolling the town. Residents are nowhere to be found. We'll have more news for you at the top of the hour. And now, I'd like to play one of my very favorite songs for you.
I still can't believe how you ran through that artillery barrage.
Jumping Jesus on a pogo stick. You're the first one to make it through alive, let alone manage a return trip. Yep. Here you... Sorry about that.
Found the missing patrols, or... They were all dead then. I suppose I'm not surprised. We have few friends in the world above, and many enemies. But we must turn our minds to other matters. When I sent out those patrols, I also sent 3 knights out on scouting missions. When the patrols failed to return, we assumed the worst, and sent a single communication to the scouts to hold position and maintain radio silence. I want you to contact those scouts and gather their reports. Like the patrols, they have devices on them that will enable you to track them. When you find them, tell them you're my representative and ask them if the bears are still hunting. That should get them to talk to you. Return when you've gathered all of their reports.
It's Mr. New Vegas, and I have a good feeling about all of you listening. Whoops, better put on my newsman fedora here. The Black Mountain radio signal is back after a long absence. Listeners say the new programming is, quote, less for outcasts, more for weirdos. In addition, tensions are brewing in Freeside between the ruling gang known as the Kings and the large number of NCR squatters seeking refuge there. The leader of the Kings, who would only identify himself as the King, voiced his displeasure, calling NCR citizens, quote, the devil in disguise. He added he didn't want to see the NCR in the ghetto and called for a mass, quote, return to sender. Those were our top stories. And now, I'd like to play one of my very favorite songs for you.
What do you want? And don't... You speak truly, for it is unlikely that an outsider would know both the Elder's name and that passphrase. Very well. I've been observing the penal facility there in the distance for some time now, after having followed some rather disturbing rumors. The facility was run by the NCR for a time, but the prisoners overcame their guards and now use the prison as a base from which to conduct raids. What puzzles me is why these men have been allowed to run wild for so long unchecked. Why has the NCR not retaken this place? Give this to the Elder. My observations are all within. Perhaps he will have a better idea of what this situation portends.
I've had worse.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps
Got my eyes peeled. Over here. Hey!
Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head? Fellow once said, ain't that a kick in the head?
Gotcha!
Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. She's telling me we'll be wed. She's picked out a king-size bed. I couldn't feel any better, or I'd be sick. Tell me quick, oh, ain't love a kick? Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head?
Don't take another step if you value your life. For what purpose do you approach me? Strange that the Elder should send an outsider, but I suppose he has his reasons. My observations have mostly focused on the small town to the south of here. It was cruelly attacked, its inhabitants slain nearly to the last. That such an act could occur so far west is nearly unthinkable. The NCR has forces in all directions, and an outpost scant miles west from here. That they have not responded to this violence shows either an unwillingness or inability to properly defend their borders, which is telling. I've collected such musings in this report. Please take it to the Elder.
Ask me a lot if there's a Mrs. New Vegas. Well, of course there is. You're her. And you're still as perfect as the day we met. All the latest news coming your way right now. NCR Correctional Facility is now under prisoner control following a successful riot. Locals should avoid anyone who looks like they've done time. In other news, the Black Mountain radio signal is back after a long absence. Listeners say the new programming is, quote, less for outcasts, more for weirdos. Promotional consideration for this news program has been paid for by the Ultralux. The Ultralux. Live life in the lap of luxury. And now, I'd like to play one of my very favorite songs for you.
Play it again, my Johnny. Maybe you're cold, but you're so warm inside. I was always a fool for my Johnny. Johnny Guitar. Play it again. Johnny Guitar. What if you go? What if you stay? I love you. What if you're cruel? Johnny, like the one they call Johnny Guitar.
Approach slowly, stranger. If you have no business with me, then go. Then I am sworn to report. I've been dividing my time between the camps to the north and south of here. One belongs to the NCR, the other to a band of slavers known as Caesar's Legion. I was sure the NCR would quickly win, but that has not happened. Instead, the two sides have reached a stalemate, and only occasionally send skirmishers against one another. If I didn't know better, I'd say neither side is confident enough to push for a full victory. Which seems strange given the NCR's technological edge. In any event, I've recorded my findings in this report. Please deliver it to the Elder. I'm sure he will find the contents most interesting.
Johnny.
Have you had any luck finding the scouts? Or did... Good. Let's take a look. If I'm reading this right, it appears that the NCR's grip on this region is nowhere near as firm as I thought. I'll have to review these in detail, but these reports have given me much to think about. Thank you, Outsider. You've become someone I can count on, so I believe I can share something rather confidential with you. I would like you to find the components we need to fix this bunker's air filtration system. I cannot overstate the importance of this task. See Senior Knight Lorenzo for the details. He's the one who brought the matter to my attention, and the only other person who is aware of it.
Don't work too hard there, Ibsen.
Yes, yes.
Good luck killing something
How
with
may
that.
I assist you?
Thing's busted. Good luck killing something with that. Thing's busted. Good luck killing something with that. Thing's busted.
That armor isn't working. Leave it there. That armor isn't working. Leave it there.
You're being watched, so don't get any ideas.
But if I adjust the magnetic field, perhaps the resulting change in wavelength will... Excuse me. I'm merely thinking out loud.
Hardin owes his life to McNamara. That's why he won't challenge him outright. The bunker takes a little
Try to
getting
keep
used to,
Veronica
doesn't
out
it?
of trouble, would you? Try to keep Veronica out of trouble, would you? That armor isn't working. Leave it there.
Hmm? Oh, you must be the outsider everyone's buzzing about. Pleased to meet you. I'm Lorenzo, Senior Knight and General Handyman around here. So now I'm going to have your death on my conscience too? Great. You think you're the first person the Elders trusted with this? He sent 3 of our patrols out looking for those components, and they're all dead. I was the one who supplied the Elder with the location of possible sites where we could find the components, so their deaths are my fault. And now it's your turn. Well, don't say you weren't warned. I won't take the blame when you die horribly. But I can tell you're getting impatient. The items I'll need to keep the system running are a differential pressure controller, a reverse pulse cleaner, and several HEPA cartridge filters. At present, my best guess for finding the items would be to search any of the old vaults in the area. Those vaults were usually built much like these military bunkers, even using the same contractors in their constructions at times. I'll mark the vault's locations on your map. Best of luck to you.
Reports say Mr. House's robots are now using tech we've never heard of. Hi there. Looking to... Our patrols are always bringing more stuff in. Take a look.
I heard some
Thanks. If you must know...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our program. This is Mr. New Vegas, and each and every one of you is wonderful in your own special way. Whoops, better put on my newsman fedora here. The influx of displaced residents to the refugee camp at Bitter Springs has caused a strain on rations there. Our officials are asking for donations. In other news, Top's hotel owner Benny has been killed by an unidentified assailant. His former right-hand man, Swank, consoled mourners.
If I know my pal Benny, he's swinging with the big cat upstairs as we speak. Or he's chasing some angel broad with cans as big as our halo.
Well, that's all I have for you. This is Mr. New Vegas wishing you ladylike luck tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this next song goes out from me to you.
whispering a lullaby tune. Dream, sweetly dream. Playing with the man in the moon. Why don't you go and take it slow?
And don't you know, all your love is so just close your eyes. Listen to the sweet lullaby. Sweet, softly sweet. And let the world go by. Come on!
I've had worse.
Mad about the boy. I know you'd be mad about the boy. Oh, it's ashamed of it, but must admit, sleepless nights I had about the boy.
For the Brotherhood.
He melts my foolish heart though I'm quite aware that here and there are traces of about the boy.
Uh-oh.
I'm not a Lord knows I'm not a schoolgirl in the flurry of despair. Will it ever this odd diversity of misery and joy? I'm feeling quite insane and young again, and all because I'm mad about the
And we're back. This is Mr. New Vegas, and I feel something magic in the air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the gamma radiation. Here are our top stories. Scavengers report hulking individuals moving around Hidden Valley after dusk, but have been unable to identify them due to low visibility. In other news, refugees at Bitter Springs are giving startling accounts of the legate known as Lanius, who is said to be Caesar's top field commander. One refugee told us the legate took over an underperforming squad of troops by beating its commander to death in full view of everyone. The legate then ordered a tenth of his own force be killed by the other 9/10. And you thought your boss was a pain. We'll have more news for you at the top of the hour. More classics coming right up for you, so stay tuned.
What the fuck are you doing here? You got some kind of fucking death wish, asshole? Yeah, fuck off.
Uh-oh.
You ready to
It's on now!
blood?
Like the sight of your own blood? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just a big gift, my life is just a big sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said.
no power armor, no energy weapons, and they're giving big...
Sailor said, "Poke, ain't that a hole in the boat?" My head keeps
Hey, you got it? The Brotherhood is family. I've always known that. If we don't change course, we're going to fall apart or fade away. But until recently, I haven't understood where we went wrong or how to fix it. I think I need to go home. Great! Thanks. Thank you. I'll encourage people to name their non-ugly children after me. Seriously.
I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle, as I go riding merrily along. Jingle, jangle, and they sing, "Oh, ain't you glad you're single?" Jingle, jangle, and that song ain't so very far from wrong. Oh, Lily Bell, oh, Lily Bell, though I may have done some fooling, this is why I never fell. So I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle, as I go riding merrily along. Jingle, jangle, they sing, "Oh, ain't you glad you're single?" Jingle, jangle, and that song ain't so very far from wrong.
Trouble.
You like the sight of your own.
residents report a large presence of armed, unsavory figures patrolling the town. Residents are nowhere to be found. Also, NCR Correctional Facility is now under prisoner control following a successful riot. Locals should avoid anyone who looks like they've done time. Those were our top stories. In New Vegas, we know the pain that numbers can bring us. Well, so does Guy Mitchell, who's got heartaches by the number.
I've got heartaches by the number of love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day heartache number one. I never knew I could hurt this way. And heartache number two was when you came back again. You came back but never meant to stay. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
And said that you were coming back to stay. With hope, Lord, I waited for you. I waited, but
Got my eyes
you
peeled.
must have lost your way. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end.
It's Mr. New Vegas letting you know I've got a new Christmas compilation coming out soon. Nuclear Winter Wonderland. Look for it on holotape. I've got news for you. A package courier found shot in the head near Good Springs has reportedly regained consciousness and made a full recovery. Now that's a delivery service you can count on. In addition, the influx of displaced residents to the refugee camp at Bitter Springs has caused a strain on rations there. NCR officials are asking for donations. Promotional consideration for this news program has been paid for by the Ultralux. The Ultralux. Live in the lamp of luxury. Ladies and gentlemen, this next song goes out from me to you.
Oh, there we go. That's enough of that.
Just lay down your weary head. Dream, sweet dream about tomorrow instead. Sweet, go to sleep. Whispering a lullaby to you. Sweetly dream. Swinging with the man in the moon. Why don't you go and take it slow? And don't you know simply sleep and let the world go by. To the town of Alfrea rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip. And he's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. They're living out the name of Texas Red. Him and that many men were dead. He was a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more, 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking to folks around. Was in Arizona, Ranger wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. And he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red, after Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was
got my eyes
related
peeled
to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip, 21 would. Tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to leave. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome man. 40 feet between them were play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talking today. Protected leather for a bullet fairly ripped, and the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his head.
Still looking.
There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living when he made one fatal slip, when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. When he tried to match the ranger with his hip, big iron on his hip. that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle, as I go right merrily along. They sing, oh, ain't you glad we're single? Jingle, jangle, and that song ain't so very far from wrong.
The women of New Vegas ask me a lot if there's a Mrs. New Vegas. Well, of course there is. You're her. And you're still as perfect as the day we met. More news for you. Unconfirmed reports say NCR's General Lee Oliver may have uprooted from his post at Camp McCarran in order to be present at Hoover Dam. NCR sources say that holding the dam against Caesar's Legion has become their main strategic priority, and this move would not be unexpected. In other news, scavengers report hulking individuals moving around Hidden Valley after dusk, but have been unable to identify them due to low visibility. That news was brought to you by the Tops Casino. You'll dig us, baby. We're the Tops. And now, I'd like to play one of my very favorite songs for you.
Good to see you. Alive, that is. Really? I mean, that's great. I knew you could do it all along. I'll get right to work installing these. Why don't you go tell the Elder the good news? I'm sure it'll be a huge load off of his shoulders.
This is a dead end for us.
I see no evidence of that. Nor do I see anyone out there with a solution to our problems.
How could you? You're too scared to look. Let's go. We're wasting our time.
Back again, I see. Have you found all the components we need? Good news for a change. Your efforts have humbled me, Outsider. You have done more than I could expect, even from my brothers. Moreover, I've been going over the Scouts' reports, and keep coming up with the same conclusion. The NCR is not the threat I've believed it to be. We should not have had to rely on your help in this crisis. I believed my actions were guided by caution and prudence, but I now see the truth. People called me a hero after what happened at Helios. But I left that battle scarred by fear, and have allowed that weakness to govern my actions. That ends now. I will undo the wrong I have done my brethren and lift the lockdown. With luck, we will once again flourish. Please, take this. It is a small token of my thanks, and scarcely begins to repay the debt owed you, but is all I am allowed to give an outsider. This key will allow you to use our safe house to the northeast. I hope it will prove useful in your travels. Welcome, Outsider, welcome. The lockdown has been officially lifted, and everyone seems to be in good. With the surface open to us once again, Hardin's already started talk of sending a force out to attack Helios, but I hope to dissuade him. What can I do? You've certainly earned the right, but I'm afraid there's a slight matter of protocol that must be dealt with first. Exceptional individuals, like yourself, are sometimes allowed to join the Brotherhood if they perform a valuable service for it. While your actions up to this point have been commendable, I am afraid they don't quite qualify as such a service. However, I do have another task that fits the bill rather nicely. Would you consider under... As one of our patrols discovered, the mutants just to the northeast have become strangely violent in the years we were secluded. However, this turn of events could also be an opportunity. We mostly left the equipment of the communications array there alone, out of respect. As the inhabitants have now proven themselves hostile, no more respect will be accorded them, making their equipment fair game. I want you to head up to the summit of Black Mountain and install this remote signal transmitter in one of their consoles. It will allow us to tap into the radar and other detection systems running there, assuming they're still operational. If we're going to operate on the surface again, it would be nice to do so with as much information.
I'd slap him around, but he stood at my parents' wedding. Plus, he used to make excuses to get me out of my punishment when I'd slept through Head Scribe Taggart's lectures. Figure I owe him for that. He means well. I'm not giving up. He wants evidence, but he'll never go looking for it. He's scared I'm right. He'll never listen unless I hold the proof right in front of his face. He's a stubborn old man, but when it comes down to it, he's got our best interests at heart. If he sees some indisputable sign we're on the wrong course, he won't ignore it. That's my question to the Elder. All these years, the Brotherhood has collected weapons technology. And for what? To keep it out of people's hands? That clearly hasn't worked. To defend ourselves? We can't compete with the NCR's numbers, or the Legions. We're fighting a war for a lost cause. If we're gonna survive, we have to find a role in society, attract new members. Look at the followers of the Apocalypse. They use their expertise to improve people's lives. They train them to be self-sufficient. That expertise cultivates respect and gratitude, spreads their ideals, draws talent to their cause. They make friends like we make enemies. But they don't know a fraction of what we know. If we took on their role, we could stand up to anyone. We wouldn't have to hide. I don't know. We need something that shows the Brotherhood will fail, or that it can do better a different way. The only thing that gets its attention is technology. Maybe Father Elijah had the right idea. Our elder before McNamara. He had a nose for recovering lost technology. He'd send scribes out into the desert chasing whatever leads he found. There were a few he only trusted me with. I can think of at least one that'd prove my point, if it still exists. There's a comm terminal not too far from here I'd use to access messages from him. If we go there, I can pull up his research on it. I'm with you. Being around here isn't the same anymore.
What is this? Veronica brings an outsider into our home, then has a private audience with the Elder? The two of you may have the Elder fooled, but we know better. Veronica has always twisted the Founder's principles to her own ends. We will not stand idly by and allow her to corrupt our Elder's thinking.
Take this!
For the Brotherhood! Sorry about that. Just because I love them doesn't mean some of them aren't assholes. Brotherhood. Spare some ammo?
This'll be over quickly!
You bastard!
What is this? Veronica brings an outsider into our home, then has a private audience with the Elder? The two of you may have the Elder fooled, but we know better. Veronica has always twisted the Founder's principles to her own ends. We will not stand idly by and allow her to corrupt our Elder's thinking.
Sorry about that.
Have you heard the news? Elder McNamara has lifted the lockdown. Good news for this store, let me tell you. So what do you... Our patrols are always bringing more stuff in. Take a look. Thanks.
Hello. Your presence here, let's just say it's highly irregular. Outsiders aren't even allowed to know that our bunker's here, let alone come and go freely. You impressed Elder McNamara, obviously. He must believe that you'd be very useful. That's right. Nothing gets in or out of here without me knowing it. Under the lockdown, only essential personnel are permitted to enter or leave. That includes supply runners and high-security patrols. All other personnel are forbidden to leave, and any personnel that were out there when the lockdown was enacted are forbidden from returning. Fine by me. Bye.
For the Brotherhood. I've had worse.
This is a dangerous place, human, especially for your kind. I suggest... You must have heard her radio broadcasts. Though why a human would follow her invitation here is beyond me, unless you didn't listen very closely. The voice on the radio belongs to Tabitha, the Supreme Commander of Black Mountain, or as she calls it, the state of Utopatha. She took control of this place almost 2 years ago. The super...
tells you exactly what to do? Do you miss a time when you didn't have to think for yourself and enjoyed lazy days of following the bellowed commands of others? Those days can be yours again. For best friend Tabitha, the esteemed leader of the state of Utopia, is here to tell you what to do. That's right. I, Tabitha, will take on the burden of your obedience. Acceptance into Utopia pending best friend Tabitha's approval. Best friend Tabitha reserves the right to turn down applicants for any reason, including whimsy or boredom. Acceptance into Utopia open to mutants only. Former human servants of the Master conditionally accepted for purposes of Centaur reading duties. Dismemberment may occur. Utopia, come. Take a load off your mind.
Brotherhood. Gotcha.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you? Hey, hey!
You saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. And then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms will hold. I heard the whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to blue.
I found the intruder!
Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
took you long enough, so... Sorry. I assumed the only reason you'd fight past a horde of super mutants and pick the lock on my cell is if you heard my cry for help on the radio. But maybe you're just sightseeing. So since the door's open and all, can I go now? Alrighty then. I'll just head out, alone. If by some chance you want to find me again, and if by some even greater chance the coyotes haven't picked my bones clean...
Been brought to you by the Vicky and Vance Casino. Vicky and Vance, be our partners in crime. Ladies and gentlemen, this next song goes out from me to you.
There you are. A few of us wanted to thank you for being such a good friend to the Brotherhood. We'll leave a few...
Looking sharp, Ramos.
Behave yourself this time, Veronica.
Two hours of weapons training every morning. It is a good way to start the day.
Hi there. Looking to... Have you found it? Our patrols are always bringing more stuff in. Take a look. Another satisfied...
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
Have you found it? Our patrols are always bringing more stuff in. Take a look. Another satisfied...
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress? How's the old cage treat you, Torres?
Greetings, my friend. Yes, we've already started receiving telemetry from it. This will be a great help in our future. Now then, I'm afraid a formal ceremony was out of the question, given our current... I had the Knights refurbish a suit of our power armor for your use. It's one of the earlier models, but it should serve you well. Now, I suppose I'm going to have to show you how to use it, aren't I? If only it were that simple. Think of power armor as a machine to be operated, rather than clothing you'd wear. With a little instruction, using it becomes as natural as simple movement. But to the ignorant, It's just so much heavy junk. So let's bring you up to speed, shall we?
Teach me all that a heart should know.
First, let's go over how to put it on.
As though there were no tomorrow.
There. I think you've got the knack of it now. You should now be able to wear any kind of power armor you come across. I've also given the order that all of our equipment be made available to you, not just the more mundane arms. You're a member of the Brotherhood now, and your gear should reflect that. Lastly, you will be allowed to come and go as you please. You've done so much for us that to do otherwise would...
Radio New Vegas, and I'm your host, Mr. New Vegas. And in case you're wondering if you've come to the right place, you have. More news for you. Patrons of the Ultralux are questioning whether its pricey restaurant, the Gourmand, is overstating the fullness of its wait list. Those who claim to have dined at the restaurant find the food appealing, but say many tables remain empty. In addition, Caesar's Legion continues to fortify its position in Nelson, where it remains a constant concern for Camp Forlorn Hope and the nearby town of Novak. That news was brought to you by the Tops Casino.
Have you found it?
Baby, we're the Tops.
Our patrols are always bringing more stuff in. Take a look.
From me to you.
To the town of Alfrea rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town.
Still breaking hearts there, I see, Scribe Schuler.
He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. Easing out along loose and running came the whisper from each lip. And he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Here's a outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 to 19 more.